There's going to be a lot of champion training over the next couple of days, and I wanted to show you how you can maximize your points. Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. I know that a lot of you might already know this, but it always helps to get a refresher and a reminder. There are a lot of great little tiny ways to get extra points during a champion training event or champion training tournament. Really quickly, I do want to specify the differences because there are drastic differences between a champion training tournament and a champion training event. For champion training tournaments, if you look at the info tab, it's going to tell you how to get points. You get points for every level that you gain. You get points for ranking up the champions. You get points for ascending champions. And you get points for booking champions. Now, when it comes to a champion training event, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but as I remember, because I can't check it right now, you only get points for leveling and ranking champions. Know for a fact you don't get points for booking. I don't know about ascension, but I'm going to go ahead and assume you don't get those points in an event. So a tournament and event are drastically different, and you want to make sure you're paying attention to that before you blow all your books during an event. Now, listen up. I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free-to-play adventure and get a free Elenaril as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. Why are a bunch of people going to be doing a ton of champion training over the next couple of days? Because we have this champion training tournament. And at the end of the tournament, if you get enough points, you can get yourself a Lydia Soul. Good, right? A 6-star soul for me because I'm level 100 on this account, but it is going to be hard to get. I want to warn you beforehand. Winning tournaments in Raid Shadow Legends is incredibly hard. Even with a 33,000 point score right now, we still have 3 days left of this. This guy could still lose. Let that sink in for a little bit, right? People are going to grind their butts off, and they might all do it in the very last day, right up to the very last second to sneak a win by you. So make sure that you are investing wisely and appropriately for your account. Now, one of the great things about champion training is you can't really go wrong. Even if you try to beat somebody that has a score of 100,000 and you can only get to 99.99999 thousand, at least you leveled a bunch of champions. Hopefully you didn't just level food and, garbage. Hopefully you were able to level that champion you've always been wanting to level and you were waiting for a really good champ training tournament. But I just wanted to say that it's not the worst thing. Sometimes it can be really frustrating to pull all of the shards that you've saved up on your account to try and win a really good legendary champion in a champion chase, only to have some Kraken or whale come through, spend $1,000 and pass you, right?
Release the Kraken!
So it can be frustrating to try and win tournaments. I am not going for these tournaments on any of my accounts. And the main reason being that I just don't want the stress of it right now. It's not worth it to me because I'm probably going to get sniped. And even on my free to play, when I looked this morning, the top score was 1,800. Okay, that's low in case you don't already know. But on my main free to play account, it wasn't worth it for me to pursue that champion training tournament on the main free to play account for the Lydia Soul. I also don't even have Lydia yet on that account, and it only would be a 5-star soul instead of a 6-star soul because that account isn't level 100 yet. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons I don't go for these. It's a hefty investment. Also, champion training is one of my least favorite things to do in the game at this point, probably because I've done it so many times across so many different accounts now. I just feel like I'm always training champions, and on my main account, it's to the point now, if I was to get somebody new that I really wanted to level, I have a ton of brews saved up. I have a ton of chickens. I have got a ton of food saved up. Like, it's not hard. In fact, this, by the way, is after 6-starring a whole bunch of champions for Faction Wars Hard, which I'll make another video on coming up with a different story. But I don't really need to do champion training. And I've actually found myself quite a few different times getting to the end of the monthly and being like, oh my God, God, I have to go through 250 campaign battles right now because I'm 25 of 30 and I only have 5 days to get, and I've only done like 200 campaign battles because I just don't like doing campaign anymore. I'm just, it's one of my least favorite areas. And sure, I can use RSL Helper. I know I can use the queue. I get that. I just don't do it. It's that simple. I don't have an excuse for you. It's illogical. It's irrational. I just don't do it. Enough about that. Let's talk about what we're here to talk about, which is how to improve your champion training points. Generally speaking, most of us are going to do 12-3 brutal to farm. Now, if you are more concerned about getting XP than you are silver, you could do 12-6 brutal, and you're going to get more experience here than you will silver. Generally, it's not advised to do the boss stage because Mortu Macabre is just so finicky, right? There is a chance you get really unlucky and he just kills you, which is not fun. You can see I have a 7-second run here. I could probably get away with doing Mortu, but it's just easier. Now, by the way, I know someone's going to scream at me in the comments, no, 6 actually gives more blah, 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 or something. There are probably going to be reasons that I leave out, but I'm mostly saying off of things that I've done or learned in my progression in the game. But there is always something I leave out when I make this video. Vodka, you're typing a comment right now. Guys, go in the comment section and read whatever comment Cheap Vodka leaves to tell you guys what I said wrong. I usually do these on 12-3 brutal for a couple of reasons. One of which being I get way more silver, and I also get mystery shards still, which play a big role in this process when you're getting food to feed to your 2-star champions to become 3 stars, etc., etc., etc. So I do like doing 12-3 brutal, but you can do 12-6. If you want to do Nightmare, you can also do that. It is going to be a little bit more efficient. It's going to be faster, certainly, but you no longer get mystery shards as a reward here if that's a problem for you. And it's worth noting that you can see here, 12-3 Nightmare is a 10-second clear, while 12-6 is a 6-second clear. And if you kind of look here, you can see why. So on 12-3, they're level 245, but on 12-6, they're level 220. So they're actually a lot easier to beat on stage 6 than they are to beat on stage 3. So I prefer to farm stage 6. If I'm going to farm Nightmare, I prefer to farm stage 6 instead of stage 3 because it's actually just easier. You'll notice for me, we'll go back to 12-3 brutal here. I am using Thor as my campaign farmer. I actually think Thor is an amazing campaign farmer and he can campaign farm in Nightmare. In fact, let me demonstrate that for you. We'll go ahead and do stage 6. I've got a couple of food in there already, but I love Thor as a campaign farmer because he kind of gets 3 AoEs in a way, right? He gets that AoE, he gets this AoE, and then when he does his A1 here, well, he procced a mastery, so he got his ability back. But you can see he's very fast, right? He's got 2 AoE hits that can clear the wave pretty easily, and then the A1 turns into another AoE hit based on his passive. Let me go ahead and show you what that passive is very quickly, just so you guys know what I'm talking about if you don't have Thor. Each time a champion deals damage, increases his counter, stacks up to 10. Once the thunder counter reaches 10, attacks all enemies and places a stun on them for 1 turn, and it resets to 0. But that thunder counter hit, whatever you want to call it, Sky Rupture hit, they actually can do a lot in campaign, even against those 220 champions. So he can be a very fast campaign farmer in Nightmare. He's the one that I prefer to use on both of my accounts as my campaign farmer now. So yeah, huge fan of him. He can do Nightmare, but like I said, 12-3 brutal is where I prefer to do it. We'll go ahead and take these guys out, and we'll just throw a couple more 3 stars in for right now. I'm not particularly worried about it. And so be careful when you're using super raids. It's not going to be the biggest issue, but we'll show you 12-3 brutal here again with Thor, and it's especially going to be useful that passive ability here. He will definitely get the kill here. Oh, it didn't even proc that time. Why didn't it proc? 4-4. I wonder why it didn't proc. I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments why he didn't get a proc off the A1 there. But regardless, fast campaign farming is key to this. So now we get to the part where we're going to rank up our champions. So we just got these 3 3-stars that we are ready to rank up right here. And so how do I want to rank them up? Well, before I rank them up, I am going to put brews into the food that's going to go into them. Now, preferably, you're feeding feeding these 2 stars to them. You're going to rank up these 2 stars to 3 stars and then feed them into your champions. But before you do that, before you feed stuff to your champion, you want to put some brews in them. So in this particular case, I like to do 2 brews on a 3-star. I like to get about halfway up their XP bar, okay? So we're going to put 2 brews into this one. We can put 2 brews here, and then we'll put 2 brews here into Greybeard. So now I have 3 rank 15s to go ahead and put into the champion that I want to 4-star right now. If you do this to every bit of food that you're putting into a champion, you are going to get a ton of points for your champion training tournament or event that you wouldn't normally get, and all it did was cost you a couple of brews. Now for me on this account, that's nothing, right? I've got 2,000 brews on this account. It's not a big deal for me if I use them because I have so many of them. But this is a much older account than yours. You may be concerned about using your brews in that way, but I gotta tell you, it actually really adds up and gets you so many valuable points. It really, really does. I highly, highly recommend using this trick for everything, and it scales up as well. So if you were to go to rank up a 4-star champion like this, I don't have any 4-star food to give them, and I don't really want to use epics right now because of Faction Wars Hard. I'm being more careful about my epics. What I would do is if I was to put somebody in there, so we'll come down here and I have that 4-star champion, right? I just leveled them up. They are going to be food. I will put 4 brews in, and I do 4 for a 4-star because they get about halfway. They're 21 out of their 40, right? If you did 3, it's a little bit under. I like to do 4. I think that's a little bit better. I'm sure there's a breakdown. Check the comments. I'm sure somebody will tell you a very efficient way, like always use 4 or 5 or whatever, but 4 is my magic number. I'll put 4 brews into them, and then when I go to rank them up, assume I just did this multiple times. In fact, you can even see I have a couple that have already had brews put into them that I would have fed. In this particular case, I'm not going to feed them because things have changed, but we'll put those chickens in. So just assume that these are all level 21 4-stars, and then go ahead and do that, and now I've got that 5-star. And then when I have a 5-star that I'm ready to rank up, each of these champions right here, I would put brews into them, and then I would put 5 brews into them. You'll get to about 22. You could do 6, but that starts really getting diminishing returns, right? So at 5, I feel fine going up to 22. 6 doesn't really get you that. It gets you 2 more levels, right? I don't know if that's as worth it for 1 brew, but for 5 brews to get 22 levels is pretty reasonable. And I would do that for all of the 5-stars that I would then feed to whatever new champion that I'm trying to rank up to 6 stars, right? Yeah, that's it. That's the big tip. That's a secret that I learned many, many years ago. It completely changed things for me when it came to completing these tournaments, and it adds up so much quicker than if you just did it traditionally and saved all your brews. Like I said at the beginning of the video, so many of you already probably know this trick, but there are a lot of players, especially new ones, who don't know this trick. So if you're doing a champion training tournament, whether it's for a fusion, whether it's for a soul for Lydia, or a champion, whatever the case may be, that is going to be the best way for you to generate points, is to use your brews during these champion chase events. And I figured since a lot of people are going to be wanting to compete for this particular champion chase, I thought it was fitting to go ahead and make that video and put that out. I feel like I may have been a little all over the place in that video, so I do apologize if I couldn't quite keep myself centered on this particular subject, but that is the advice that I wanted to throw out there. And because it is a tournament, like I said earlier in the video, if you want to use books, you can. If you want to ascend champions, now is a good time to do that because you will get points for it. And furthermore, if you care about non-PR CBC, because this is not a personal rewards, it's a regular CBC. If you care about that, you should also wait until CBC starts so you can triple dip, if you will. I will say that you will get far more points from other ways than champion training. If you care about your points, I don't think champion training is the best way, but it's not the worst way. So either way, good luck with your tournament. I hope you guys find success. I hope some of you or all of you can win your tournaments. I think that's really cool. But for me, I'm not going to go for it. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. It does mean the world to me. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It is the best way to support my channel. And as always, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.